Hey guys, and welcome back to G's Autos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well guys, the final test fit of the twin Webers onto the 4AGE is now done. So all the little gremlins and all the little issues that we wanted to sort out have all been sorted. So accelerator cable, accelerator linkages, clearance issues, fuel lines, all of that stuff has now been sorted. So everything comes off the car now, and then we'll do a full proper fit. So excellent work, it's all been done, very, very happy. So guys, take a look at the video. I hope it helps other people who might be looking at doing twin Webers onto a 4AGE front wheel drive. I found it hard to find just good detail about fitting the carbs, so hopefully this video might help someone else, but we're edging closer to the finish of this build. Still going. So next I'm hoping to move on to the wiring and get all that sorted. So anyway guys, enough out of me. Take a look at the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and feel free to leave any comments. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, so let's start with the basics on what's been set up here. So let's start with the fuel feed into the carbies. So we've just picked up the standard fuel line that comes in. Now the rubber hose connected to that, the inside diameter is 6 mil. However, with the fuel pump and fuel filter I purchased from Weber, that's an inside diameter of 8 millimeters. So we did have to put a fuel line adapter in place just before the fuel filter, which took it from 6 to 8 mil. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so that's all been... Now there's a bracket that comes with the fuel pump. So all we've done is just bolted it down under there, sorry. And then all this wiring needs to be connected up. That's the next step, getting all the wiring done. Okay, so a custom bracket was made for the fuel pressure gauge. So that's the fuel pressure gauge there. I picked that up as part of the package as well. So that's all nice. Now that bracket there is just from the original fuel filter bracket that was originally in the 4AC, which just held the old style clear plastic fuel filter. So this fuel pressure gauge actually fitted into it absolutely perfectly. So a custom bracket was made just to attach it there to the firewall. So it's out of the way, but yet still nice and easy to see. Now, just to eliminate any rubbing issues on the vacuum pipe for the brake booster, we've just put a rubber sleeve over the fuel line there. We've just run a fuel line straight down. I bought a T-piece, fuel line T-piece for there, and just basically, as you can see, these had to be turned. These are pretty adaptable. You can take these off, spin them around, and just make life easier. So we did that, and all that was there. That there was pretty straightforward. Now, when I bought this, the carby setup, I did buy a linkage kit, and this was all part of it. Basically this chassis here, and that bolts to the top of the carby. And that allows you to run your accelerator cable. Now you can buy an accelerator cable from Weber, however I just stuck with using the factory accelerator cable. Now it does have a few curves, there's a bit of a tight bend up there, comes around, I've just put a bracket in there to hold it in place, and it comes around and then feeds into this assembly here. Now, checked it over and over lots of times yesterday, no binding, and it releases good. Yet we still need to put the springs in, the return springs for there. That'll go in when on the final fit. But I'm just going to rig up a little bracket for there to hold it to there, and then that'll be the final bracket required for that. But no binding, no locking, and the accelerator cable works a-okay. Now, if you're using this setup here, keep in mind, because we use the original Corolla accelerator cable, it comes with two factory holes. There's one there and there's one there. So we had to drill this one out to enable this to fit. Okay, now the little hard plastic connector here, which swivels for your which swivels forward when you accelerate. As you can see, there's that little circular metal bar on the end of the accelerator cable. We just had to drill the hole out slightly to get that to fit. So just keep that in mind as well. That was another small minor modification. Plus we also had to, where we drilled this hole out here, we also had to cut a vertical line to get the cable up and then lock it into place. So that's just a minor modification that was needed. Now, one of the problems that was found, let's see if I can get you guys in close enough. Just down in there, it was rubbing against the water inlet housing. So a few mil was just shaved off the outer corner of the housing. Now to get around that, this is part of the linkage kit, is you get a couple of these. So what we did to get everything to fit properly, okay, this outside circle bit was removed, and then basically all of this was removed as well. We didn't need it. As long as you've got your idle stop in place, you're all good. So that gave us, as you can see, that's been how that looks now. Plus, we had to, the nut that goes on the end, we had to shave that down by about 40% to get good clearance. So once all this is done up properly, you'll see that little shim there. There's a little shim in there, not too sure if you can see it, and it has a little folding tab. So that will fold over to lock that in place as well. So that on all these bolts on your linkages and everything, like down in here as well, there's little shims that with little tabs, and they'll roll over and lock your nut into place so they can't come loose. So I'm guessing on this one, because I don't have enough, probably not enough real estate purchase on the thread, might just put a little bit of Loctite on there just to make sure it doesn't move out of place. But they were the main issues. Just look, there's a bunch of different linkages that come with it. You can put this on you can put this assembly on the top, you can put it on the bottom, you can put it on this carb, you can spin it around, put it the other way, just depending on what your application is. So everything fits good now. Now that I've measured up here, between here and the edge there, I've got a good idea of how much room I've got to play with now. I just need to decide what kind of air filter I'm going to run. So I'll work that out during the week and get that ordered. And yeah, so that's pretty much the main issues. That little area down there, a couple of modifications required here, working out the best way to run your accelerator cable, and that was pretty much about it. So yeah, all this needs to come off now, and I need to, clean up and paint that bracket there. I want to clean up this bracket here for the fuel pressure gauge, and a couple of bits and pieces like that. And then all this will get bolted in permanently. So it's looking good. It took a day just to work through everything and finalise what linkages were going to be used, how it's all going to get set up so it works properly. Yeah, so just take your time with it. I found trouble finding any information, videos on setting up twin carbs for front wheel drive, anything that went into detail, just explaining what issues you might run into. But I'm hoping that this video will help others to do, if they want to do the process themselves, that they can see just the troubles that we ran into when we were doing the fit out. But yeah, everything's really good. And just for the brake booster, there's a pre-drilled hole there in the red line manifold, which we just took this little metal piece out of the inlet manifold, out of the 4AC, and it's the exact same thread. It went in there, so we're using that for the brake booster. And if we find there isn't enough vacuum there, I can always hook up a vacuum canister to assist with that. But anyway, guys, that's how it's all looking. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. yeah, so really happy. So now the next job is to work through all of the electrical. So that's going to be the next fun job, getting all of that done. And yeah, so that will probably form part of one of the upcoming videos. I want to go into detail explaining all of that, because we're going from a 4-wire dizzy, which was from the electronic setup, down to a 2-wire dizzy. And so I'm going to run through a video on how I'm doing the setup for that. So anyway guys, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll get onto the wiring in the next video. And thanks guys, and I'll see you on the next one.